of 8 plus some odd million watching, then this game is pretty much close to that. I saw 7 plus million watching this particular game. So yeah, another close game, and Mumbai ran them close. Now I don't know whether they would be thinking about why did they play one batsman less.
Precisely my point. We discussed this earlier, and the funny thing is Mumbai ran them close, and that is probably why we got to see such a higher viewership in terms of the people watching. About more than 70 lakh people were watching it on the web. So it's interesting, but they should have won this game. At one point you thought they would have won this game when Surya Kumar Yadav was there. In fact, when even Devil Brevis and Tilak Verma were going strong, when the third wicket partnership was looking like that could take them to 140 odd runs, and then they only need 50 odd runs. Just that it did not happen for them tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the same problem that we highlighted, that their batting did not look deep enough. We were shocked because when Surya Kumar went, we knew that was the game. It was either him or no one who was getting into that.
When Pollard went, it was the game.
True.
And Pollard needs to pull his weight now. I think he's been
panned by people for the way he was casually running as well.
He got run up today. So of course people are going to talk about it.
No, not just
also, he's not that old. Like, he might look 34. Like somebody who's playing for a number of years and all, but he's just 34.
He's 34.
You look at Virat Kohli, somebody like Virat Kohli whose fitness is like here, and you look at Pollard, the way he was running.
Very sluggish.
He is 34 and they retained him, which means he needs to pull his weight. That didn't happen. But the good thing is now, 2 days in a row, we have seen 2 very exciting games. Unfortunately for Mumbai, they couldn't break their duck. Chennai did. And from here on, I can't
Mumbai are not making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, can we confirm that? Just like in the elections, you need to call it, right? There's a time when you start looking at the trends and you call the elections. Should we call it?
Are we calling it?
Yes.
I think we are calling it.
I'm calling it for sure.
We are calling it. 5 games done, even though I remember that first season where they lost 4 games and then won 5 in a row.
We are calling it on Sports Today.
Yeah, we are calling it. Not happening. Mumbai Indians with that bowling lineup especially are not winning anything.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I want to know what explains you not playing someone like an Allen, someone like a Riley Meredith. Is Unadkat or Basil Thampi, with due respect to them, better than them? I don't know whether they saw them in the nets bowling very well. And I have a huge respect for Jaydev Unadkat. He's a great servant of the game, does really well at the domestic level.
Agreed.
I know he put a tweet out saying red ball, give me a chance, because he desired some chances in the red ball.
He took them to the final and
won them.
Won with Harba. So all of that is great. But it is time now for Mumbai Indians. Also, whatever said and done, we discussed. To be fair, we discussed Virat Kohli not getting runs. But I think now if you compare Rohit Sharma to Virat Kohli, I'd have to accept that in this regard, Virat has been getting more runs than Rohit Sharma in terms of pure form.
Rohit started well tonight as well. If you look at his innings at the beginning, Ishan Kishan, again a failure for him. But Ishan Kishan wasn't he was on 2 when Rohit Sharma had reached 26 odd runs. So Rohit Sharma started really well. He showed that, boss, at the top I can hit those balls out of the park. 2 or 3 sixes that he hit, boundaries also. For the matter, when he was batting, you thought that Rohit might get them to a decent score before Surya takes over. You have phases, right, in a game, and you need a strong opening partnership. We saw that with Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan today. 97 run opening partnership. But again, Rohit Sharma started off well. But Rabana had his brains there to outfox Mr. Rohit.
No, Rohit Sharma, I think I'm not getting my stat exact. I think it's either 12 or 13, some sort of those games he's gone in the IPL without getting a 50, which is his second longest dry spell in IPL. So it tells you since he's been playing for Mumbai Indians, since that time to now, he hasn't had a dry spell, or probably just had one which lasted longer than this. So clearly, this is a situation that he doesn't often find himself in. It's a worrying factor because a lot of Indian players not really firing. Okay, I'm going to take a few comments. Abhi Adhikari says Rohit as captain is exposed with a weaker bowling attack because I haven't seen any of his captaincy skill turn the match for them while bowling. Okay, Abhi, we are criticizing Rohit's batting. And yes, he needs to strike form. But I can't understand where do you find fault in his bowling when he doesn't have the resources. I'll give you a comparison. If MS Dhoni, and I know technically you'll say MS is not captain, or in the 2020 season when CSK weren't doing well, did you say MS Dhoni has been exposed as captain? You didn't say that, because to be fair, you need to have some resources. See, what a captain does is he needs he can take a decent team and make them perform a notch above with his captaincy skill.
Yes.
We give him a very average team. What do you expect him to do? Make them win the IPL or take them to the playoff? Not possible. Not for Rohit Sharma, not for MS Dhoni, not for Saurav Ganguly, anybody you can look at. It's not going to happen. So captaincy, I'm not going to fault him. I think they faltered in the auction.
Absolutely.
And so that's why
maybe he played a part in the auction, but for captaincy, that's a separate thing altogether. You look at what they did at the auction, that is more questionable than anything else, and they are bearing the brunt of it all.
As I understand how it works with Mumbai Indians, it's not Rohit alone. Of course, he's got a major say. Zahir plays a major role in
Director
auction
of
strategy.
there
There is Sachin Tendulkar there. There's Mahila Jayawardene who plays a very active
head coach Mahila Jayawardene.
Exactly.
I'm saying, if you look at the support staff, they've got probably the biggest names in the sport.
Yeah.
And they
part
work
of the
very
support
well as a
staff,
team.
and yet they had this auction strategy, which I still can't wrap my head around, because we discussed this even when the auctions happened. You remember, Nikhil? You and I were there. Shane hadn't joined till then.
No.
Yeah.
We discussed how Mumbai's auction strategy felt like that they were only willing to buy, like they were only there for two players.
No, they came only for two players.
And that seriously, that has cost them this
No,
IPL.
they came for those two players. There's a Jofra Archer and Ishan Kishan. I'll
Kishan.
tell you why also it happens with Ishan Kishan. Because again, what I get to hear from the Mumbai camp, they treat their team as a family. So they were so committed to Ishan Kishan, they felt bad that they couldn't retain him, that they had committed to him. And it's like that, क्या एक बार मैंने commitment कर दी so exactly that is what happened, which is sometimes a good thing if you have that kind of a culture, and Mumbai has that, and probably it's that culture that has taken them to 5 titles, so we can't really fault the culture. But this time also it's that culture of being a family, their family members not there, retaining them at any cost rather than going for any big players. That's also cost them. Ronak Goel super chat I'm going to take. He says, I'm a fan of Punjab but disappointed with their strategy of having Smith to bowl the last over. He is not a death over bowler at all. But where does he bowl? I mean, which...
By the way, he
Is he a
finished.
power-
By the way, he finished with 4 wickets at the end of the game.
Yeah.
4 wickets, and last over he got those 3 wickets.
3
I
wickets,
think.
No, but the most expensive, I think, even
Most
today.
expensive, but-
Even Rahul Chahar, I think, who
Got smashed at the beginning by
He
Devil
also had a
Brevis.
better
By Devil Brevis, I agree. My only thing with Odean Smith is, I think so that strategy worked last game also, till the time Odean Smith conceded those 2 sixes right of the last 2 balls. Because no, I am saying they tried putting pressure with better bowlers at those death overs and keeping Odean Smith for that final over, because they wanted more runs in the bank for that final over. They had 18 to defend in the final over last game.
Yes.
Tonight they had quite a few big runs, and because Mr. Rabada got Mr. Surya Kumar Yadav, that made a huge difference. If Surya Kumar Yadav would have been there in that final over, then I'm sure even Mayank Agarwal would have been sweating somewhere, thinking, should I give the ball to Odean Smith or not?
No,
I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
But because Surya Kumar Yadav got out in that penultimate over, that helped their cause. Yes, Odean Smith will play a couple more games, because see, 4 wickets, can't discount that irrespective of anything.
True.
And then did not get to bat today. So 2 more games, guys, because of this performance he'll get for sure.
You know what was
at least half the season he's playing.
What was interesting was that in such as Odean Smith's luck, that in the previous game he needed to defend 13 of 3 in the final 3 balls. In this one as well, it actually came down to 13 of 3. So I'm sure a few Punjab Kings fans would have had their hearts in their mouths thinking, oh good God. Yeah. The only difference was they didn't have Rahul Tewatia, they had Murugan Ashwin and Jayadev Unadkat at the other end. So
okay, Parminder Singh says, hello everyone. You know, Parminder is a regular watcher. He's a big
Punjab
fan. Congratulations, Parminder.
Jinx.
He says, hello everyone, I'm so happy. More than Odean Singh, I strongly feel Benny should replace. I'm so impressed with Arshdeep. He can play for India. Arshdeep, yes, outstanding.
Arshdeep
I really like
making one of those cases of being an absolute workhorse of a player. He won't be the glory person, but he puts in all the hard
I
yards.
picked him in my fantasy team, even though he did not take that many wickets. But
the runs, I think,
I
economy-
always believe that last game also, by the way, they would have lost much earlier if not for Arshdeep Singh.
Yes.
Those wide Yorkers that he bowled towards the end, his last 2 overs, they could hardly score runs of it.
What really
Gujarat
impresses me about
Titans.
him the most is his mentality. Guy really keeps his
Very
cool.
cool.
Very, very
And
cool.
everybody talks about retention and why they retained Arshdeep
See?
and all. I
Look.
think Arshdeep was a good retention.
Yes, he was.
We discussed it earlier. Arshdeep was always a good retention. It's just that certain other players were there who we thought, why
Did they
retain
not
them?
retain them?
Yeah.
He says, yeah, but again, Parminder's question, he says, I strongly feel Benny should play, but if you've been watching our program,
We've been saying
my
that
two
too.
friends here, Shane and Siddhant, have been talking about Benny Howell, that he should play, he should play, he should play. He's a, X factor sort of a player. They've also got Rajapaksha in their, ranks. So the Punjab team have plenty of options. So do actually Mumbai in bowling,
Yeah.
but they're not playing Allen, neither are they playing
Riley Meadows.
No,
Riley Meredith.
Mumbai don't know who to pick.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is they have tried Basil Thampi, Jaydev Unadkat. Last game they dropped Timil Mills. This game they played him, and still they are very unsure about the combinations.
There's
And
no
the biggest
settled
problem
11.
will be this throughout. This because they don't have any other
There's no
options to
settled
come
11.
depend on.
So that is what Anish Nakra is saying. This is a sign of a very badly constructed squad,
Yeah.
that they repeatedly don't pick 4 overseas players in 11. So it just tells you what were they thinking when they were sitting in the auction. Right now they can't even pick 4 foreigners. Tells you. Kushagra Bisht, I'm going to take his comment. He says, love from Ranikhet, Uttarakhand. Regular watcher since the channel's inception, but not
thank
active
you.
on chat as I'm preparing for my XLRI, Jamshedpur.
Oh, XLRI.
India interview and watch
All the best.
show
Good luck, man.
All the best.
side by side. Kushagra, I'm going to be very close to Rani Khets tomorrow.
Oh yeah, should tell your fans.
No, I'm going to be joining remotely
Yeah.
from somewhere near Rani Khet. Not exact location I'm telling you, but I'll be joining them remotely.
Yeah.
And so Sid will be here to give his wrong predictions.
Yeah, there'll be tomorrow. It'll be the Triple S show. Sid and Shane.
And
Triple S.
the N Square will join us from somewhere around Rani.
Yeah. From a remote location.
Remote location that cannot be disclosed, guys. Cannot be.
Karthik M says Mumbai Indians team is equal to the 2016 T20 West Indian batters plus Namibian bowlers.
No, that West Indies batting lineup was great
was
actually.
great.
Like everybody could pitch in. People like Lendl Simmons, who I never rated highly, by the way, they were scoring runs against us.
The biggest shock was the likes of Marlon Samuels and all doing so well.
Boss, he won them the game.
Exactly.
He won them the game.
Exactly.
So Marlon Samuels, irrespective of whatever said and done, not many people, I don't think so, you guys remember that conflict he had with Shane Warne in the BBL?
Yes, of course I
yes.
remember. Shane got hold of his t-shirt.
Yeah,
and
t-shirt,
pulled it.
they're like a-
But again, God bless his soul, the late Shane Warne, but he was on the wrong at that time.
He was.
He was.
I think he
He was.
overstepped the line. You have no business to go physically catch him
True.
and pull his t-shirt.
That was absolutely wrong, and I think the commentators also point out that Shane Warne needs to calm down because
Yeah.
why be like this?
But do you know Shane actually did it on purpose? He was trying to fire the team up and fire himself up. So that was part of the strategy. I think he still overstepped it.
He
He went a
still
bit
did, yes.
overboard. He wanted to create.
You don't go grab somebody's
Yes.
t-shirt instead of that.
completely
You remember another IPL rivalry that way was Mitchell Stark and Karen Pollard.
Oh, yes.
Where Stark bowled the ball and Pollard, instead of throwing it at him, threw it on the side,
Yes.
but was so angry. And then Stark was like, "You go and bat, you go there and all." It was just insane to watch. I watched that live. It was something else.
Vivek Singla is saying Mayank is doing good captaincy. Yes, he is impressed.
Yes, exactly.
Today he impressed with the bat as well. I love the fact that he had that aggressive approach to begin with. That allows Shikhar to play his natural game.
Yes.
So I think they're going in with that idea, and we've told you this earlier on Sports Today, that's the game plan Punjab is going to go with this season. They're going to go bang bang. I think only Shikhar is going to play that
Yes.
anchor role.
No, but Mayank has always been like that. Even with KL Rahul in the
KL
side
used to
last
play
time
full
around,
hours.
KL Rahul would play the sheet anchor's role, and Mayank would try and be the aggressor all the time.
All the time,
and
right.
that came off a number of times also for them.
It did,
He scored that 100, if you guys remember. So I think Mayank utilizing that strategy is a good thing for us as an Indian cricket fan also, because I think
Yes,
that gives us
because,
more opening options as well in the future.
Because we had a lot of people, we had Sunny Gavaskar on Sports Today saying that before they had decided their captain, Punjab Kings. He had said give Mayank that role. With that, probably he'd take a lot of responsibility as well. So that's a good call. Sunny Gavaskar. Shutanu has sent us a super chat from Boston.
Massachusetts.
Good morning.
Massachusetts in United States of
He says Rohit and Virat looked very ordinary and concerned for India like 2007. It's time to see future and give juniors a chance. Oh my God. Shutanu, this is the 10th time we've got this question.
We answer it every day, yes. We answer it every day.
Let's answer it once and for all now. See, again, our regular watchers will be like, why? But again, because Shutanu has asked us for the first time, Shutanu Mondal is his name. See, that happened by chance 2007. It wasn't by design. It wasn't planned. Senior players, because of the performance at the 50 over World Cup, their poor performance, add to that the controversies that were happening with Ian Chappell. And since I covered that very closely, I was in the Caribbean, I saw all of that transpire happen in front of my eyes. So it was led by Sachin Tendulkar, who needed some sort of a break because they were not sure what the future holds for Greg Chappell, whether they want to be there. And so he decided that, okay, this World Cup is coming. He suggested to the BCCI, he actually spoke to Rahul Dravid and Saurav Ganguly also, that, why not let youngsters go and play this tournament. That was communicated to the BCCI, and that's how a young team was selected. So that happened then. Now, will the BCCI have the courage to, drop some senior players and go with a young team? Firstly, they will get a lot of criticism from everyone, from fans, from us, and for all you know, may not be the right move. Again, as I pointed out, it's only in India we get so impatient. Did Australia get impatient with David Warner after a poor IPL? They didn't. They took him to the T20 World Cup.
And he won it for them.
Yeah, so...
Player of the tournament, guys.
Yes. Vedant Gari said, Nikhil, the Mumbai is looking like RR from past seasons. RR always failed to set combination, unlike this time. That's true, actually.
That is very correct. Very, very correct. RR had that major problem.
Mumbai being compared to RR, that's like...
how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
No, but that is true.
It is true.
Now, actually, I can raise a few questions about the
You mean Mumbai or RR?
RR.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing well.
But
Riyan Parag is still there.
I actually, by the way, if you remember when we were picking our playoff stream, I picked RR, and I still think they might make it.
They could.
But my problem with them is those guys don't have a lower middle order at all.
Correct.
Riyan Parag for me is not the answer. When you look at somebody to finish the game off, if Hetmeyer doesn't fire for you, even one single game, you guys will struggle.
Exactly.
He has every game they have won, Hetmeyer has fired for them.
Yep.
He's got them those crucial runs at the end. Even last game they were 67 for 4, and it was his innings that took them to that total.
What happens on the day Butler and Hetmeyer both this thing? Another less than 100 total.
Okay, let's answer this question. Very interesting question, and we love some really smart question like this one. Gaurav Sharma says, don't you think it was poor captaincy from Rohit, regularly sending Surya at 5?
Yeah.
And how much will they back Pollard now? He doesn't look like a threat at all. David should replace him now. So let's start from the bottom. David should replace him. That not Pollard, but David needs to be in the team. We've discussed that.
Absolutely.
He's a big match player. He didn't have a few good games, but look at Punjab. Odean Smith, they're persisting with him. So I can't see why you cannot go with a Tim David. Give him a longer rope.
I would rather drop one of Jaydev Urarkat or Basil Thampi,
and
then put in Tim David there and make Tim David, Karen Pollard and Devon Brevis bowl that 4 over quota for that 5th bowler.
Yeah, but they need a...
No, but Tim David used to bowl 2-3 overs for his side.
But he's a spinner. Huh?
He's a spinner.
I'm saying you need a quicker bowler.
I'm saying you need a quick bowler, then you try Pollard. You have tried Pollard before. But my entire point is if you're trying to sacrifice a batsman for a bowler, and that bowler is going to be either of Jaydev Unadkat or Basil Thampi, that doesn't work for me. It did not work for the Mumbai Indians tonight also.
Absolutely.
47 and 44 runs given away by those two. And for me, yes, Basil Thampi took that 3 wickets in that first game. What else has he done till now to keep his place in the side? Jaydev Unadkat last game 1 for 30. Still decent. This game again more than 40 runs. Tried, like Jitesh Sharma took a toll on him right at the end, even though he was bowling only the 17th over, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
He was trying to bowl everything slower ball. It's so predictable. You know, with Jaydev Unadkat, he's trying to bowl those cutters, and Jitesh Sharma hit him for a couple of sixes like that.
He's just waiting and waiting, and he's like, I'll smack it when it comes.
It's just that I feel they need to think out of the box, and maybe people are not expecting for them to bowl somebody like a Tim David.
No, but for your slower ball to work, you should have a quicker ball.
True.
then the slow ball works.
Unless
Right
you're another bat, yeah.
right now, what balls do they have apart from Jasprit Bumrah's 6 balls?
No, but Surya Kumar at 5, I don't know. I don't know.
It makes no sense whatsoever playing your best 3 or 4 batsmen at number 5.
No, but see, today it kind of worked. See, they sent Brevis up and Tilak up, and they played the way they did. With Surya, the problem would have been had you send him there and he got out, then panic would have set in. Here with Surya at 5, you knew that you're in with a chance, and then I think the strategy would have been wrong had Brevis and Tilak been a bit, playing a sheet anchor role and not attacking. Then I'd be like, why are you doing this? Surya would have come, smacked it, got you in the game. Today it was fine. It's just that Pollard is not pulling his weight.
True.
It's just that Surya got out at that time. You never know. They could
I
have changed
still
it.
think, like, it's my personal opinion, and
No, it's a very close call,
You
is
guys
what I'm
can
saying.
disagree with it. I still think Surya needs to bat at 3.
No,
and
he also
everybody
thinks
else-
that. He also
everybody
thinks
else
that. Both of
follows.
you think. I'm just looking at
I
the
think
other side.
Brevis can bat at 4. What are you expecting of them? You're expecting them to provide those quick fire runs, right?
Yeah, but I'm
Surya
saying-
holds your innings together.
True. But I'm saying Surya is also aggressive.
No, but
if in case he gets out trying to play a shot, then panic is going to set. Now with Surya, see, I'm just saying, look at a young Brevis and a Tilak. When they know there is Surya behind us, they may play, attacking cricket. They may just attack. They know that, fine, today if this doesn't work.
He still scored
Surya
43
will
runs
play.
today.
That's what I'm saying. He can still do it at that stage. Can a Brevis do it at that time if Surya is out?
The thing is, I
Maybe
think
not.
also you have to look at it this way. If again Surya is that one player, yeah, you're right, he's aggressive. But over I think recent times, he's kind of figured out when to be aggressive.
No, yeah. That's the beauty of the guy.
So if you actually have your 2 openers in Rohit and Kishan who go bang bang, and then if one of them falls early, you send a Surya at 3, he'll hold your entire innings together. Rest of the team can go bang bang, he'll go bang bang at the end. So fairly simple strategy. Then that way you give a space to someone like a Brevis and Tilak. Say, oh, you know what, go and get 30-40 runs. You don't need to hold the innings together.
Saurabh Mukherjee as a point says, you can give the Warner example 100 times, but let's face it, we played World T20 with a bunch of clueless superstars in the UAE. It's about popularity, said enough. So he thinks because they are popular, you're going to go on with them. But I can't understand. So what happens if a batsman doesn't get run for a few series, you drop them, and you think who's going to win you a T20 World Cup?
Some IPL kids? No.
Exactly my point. Do you remember out of the 2011 World Cup also there were enough talk that Sachin Tendulkar is past his prime. There was a time that Virendra Sehwag was dropped and all of them. So what did you do? You dropped all of them and you got your youngsters came in. You should have dropped Harbhajan Singh also.
Look at Ashish Nehra was there.
Exactly.
Zahir Khan was there.
Exactly my point.
Sachin Tendulkar was there. Virendra Sehwag was there. Who else? Dhoni. Dhoni also that way was playing for a long time.
But that point, yeah.
6 years almost. So
Saurabh, playing and winning a World Cup, why is it that you look for experience? Why is it that you say, no, we need a new cycle, we'll groom a team? Why don't you then say, forget about grooming, forget about all of this. Every World Cup, we'll just pick the team 6 months before. Whoever's getting runs in the IPL, you go. Okay, you're talking about this. Let's take example of the IPL stars that you took. Nah? What are the IPL stars Ruturaj Gaikwad and Venkatesh Iyer doing in international cricket at the moment? So based on IPL, you will pick players. What did Rahul Chahar do at the World Cup? You took him. What did Ishan Kishan do at the World Cup? You took him. What did Varun Chakravarti do when you took him? So there is no guarantee that because you're doing an IPL, you'll go. You will go with the best player available. Are you trying to tell me that Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma are not the best out of the best 11 players in India at the moment because they've had some months of not being in top form, and that too, mind you, not the level of form that they were. It's not that they're still not getting runs.
No.
It's the kind of form that we've gotten so used to. So I don't know. I disagree. You can have your view, absolutely.
A bad form doesn't make a bad player. Though.
Yeah, I'd love to see the BCCI drop Rohit Sharma.
Not gonna happen.
Hell will freeze.
Also captain.
T20.
He's the captain.
Exactly.
He's the captain. Like I don't understand why people keep saying that you can drop Rohit. How can you drop Rohit?
Yeah.
Virat Kohli is already not there, and now you are thinking that you're going to drop your captain. Who's going to captain the side now? No, I just want to know from somebody who's pointing this out. Who's going to captain the side if Rohit is not there? You're expecting somebody like a Rishabh Pant, Jasprit Bumrah, KL Rahul. Are you happy with their captaincy? Are you sure that they are going to lead you to a title? Don't see it happen.
So again, Sutanu Mondal, and we take opinions, not just the ones that support us but that are against. Shutanu, who's joining us from Boston, says disagree. If you want to be good in T20 cricket, you need bang bang cricket and players who are good in form. You perform, you stay in the team. You fail, give place to others. Be brave. So you're saying Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli cannot play bang bang cricket?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
irrespective of whether they can play bang bang cricket or not, my point is bang bang cricket at times is not the answer.
True.
Exactly.
We saw teams trying, Punjab themselves, when they tried to play that bang bang cricket, they scored 130 in that one game. Okay, got out.
Even look at even look at CSK.
True.
They tried to play bang bang to begin with. It didn't work. What they changed this time around was they started off a bit carefully. Then when they had the base, then Robin Uthappa and Shivam Dubey took on the bowlers. But they didn't start just bang bang cricket. I mean,
Shutanu, I just wanted to tell him that I agree that there's this sense of disappointment with the bigger guys in the team, the Indian team, not performing in the IPL. But you can't hold that against them because for a number of years they have been your proven performers.
Yeah.
And you just can't take that lightly. It's all about having people who have done this day in, day out. And Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma were those players. Yes, of course you look at them, but if they don't succeed this year and the next year at that ODI World Cup,
Yeah,
you're going to look at
then-
others.
then you
you
make
can say
changes.
that it makes sense to have somebody else playing. But these guys have been playing, representing India for more than a decade.
I'm giving Maxwell's example. If I'm not mistaken, 2015 World Cup, before that also Maxwell had a pretty average time with the bat. And then I was there in Sydney. I saw the absolute massacre that he did with the bat. Glenn Maxwell. He's been patchy all along, but then Australia did drop him once. But then more often than not, he's
form. Not even IPL form.
yes,
They looked at his
exactly,
international form.
exactly.
No, Australia never cared about their IPL form.
Exactly,
They always
exactly.
picked players who had performed for them in that green and gold.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They don't look at the BBL form. Can you tell us who are the BBL stars? Do they find a spot in?
I'll tell you, some BBL stars do find a place every now and then. Like somebody like a Ben McDermott was there in Pakistan.
Yeah.
He was there, did well. But players like Darcy Short, they tried and then they let go of them. And even though if Darcy Short performs, they still are not taking him in their 11 because they have tried and tested that for a good couple of years. Darcy Short scored a number of runs for his side, Hobart Hurricanes. A Western Australian player who has gone to Hobart, did so well. And that's the reason why Darcy Short got picked at the IPL also.
Yeah.
But what happened? He did not perform here. He did not perform for Australia. Got dropped, right? Had to be.
So I'm taking Amit Sharma's comment because we took comments that were opposed to what we are saying. Now he's in favor of what we are saying. He's saying these are IPL kids. They want bang bang, sixes, but Australian pitches, VK Rohit will save you in those pitches, in those big games. That's what. See, you can't buy experience.
Yeah.
You can buy anything else, but you cannot buy experience. That comes with time. I don't know. I still disagree about not having them in the team. Vedant Garg is saying, Nikhil sir, I always try to give good suggestion, observation on the show. Please invite me on your show. Would love to talk to you all. So that's a reminder. That's a cue just to let you guys know that we are going to do this sort of an online thing and have a few of us join us in a separate format, not in our show, pre-match show, but in a separate format. For that, what you need to do is go to Instagram, look at Sports Today Official, follow our Instagram ID, and then send us a message, DM us with your contact details, and then we'll try and get a few of you, 4-5 of you, to join us and have that interactive session.
And we
Sudan Sachdeva right there pointed out Chris Lynn. Another guy
Yep.
who did well at the IPL for a brief
an
while.
extent,
Was amazing for the Brisbane Heat.
Brisbane Heat, him and McCullum were killers.
Was the number of sixes he would hit. Chris Lynn does insane. Okay, yet what happened to him when he went and played for Australia?
Absolutely nothing.
He has hardly played 20-25 games at most for Australia. That's what you expect from a superstar from the BBL or the IPL for that matter. That is why the pedigree that you see from players like Kohli and Rohit Sharma who have been proven performers for a decade almost. You can't look past it, na. Of course you look at others who are coming up, who are propping up because of their performances. But that doesn't mean the guys who have been doing it for a number of years might not be doing in this IPL deserve to go. That one season, 2 season does not mean that they are bad players.
Saurav is with us. He's, really wants to put his word forward. So he'll take this. He says, I've been watching cricket since late 90s. I've seen the best and the worst. We know a player is bound to lose form. Everyone understands that. Why persist with them? MSD dropped legends too. That didn't irk us. Okay, Saurav, two things I want to put. Watching cricket, I mean, I've been watching cricket from the late 80s, but that doesn't mean that I know more than you or you know more than me. So that is irrespective. But we understand player is going to lose form. So Sachin Tendulkar did drop those seniors because he did feel there were a lot of guys at that time. MS Dhoni dropped those youngsters you're talking about, because there was an MS Dhoni, there was a Yuvraj Singh, there was a Virat Kohli there coming up, there was a various other players in the team that you could look at. So he saw that maybe the transition needs to happen at that time. Are you telling me who's going to play, who's better than Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli? Also remember, the decision that MS Dhoni took in dropping those players was because of condition in Australia, where he thought, players can take doubles into 3 and running between the wickets is going to be very, very important. So the fielding was the issue. It was not so much batting and bowling. Are you telling me someone is quicker than Virat Kohli at the moment in terms of fielding?
No.
So again, you also got to look at the fitness of a player. That was more to do with the fitness and not so much about the player losing form or not. So again, as I say, you have to go. Also, MS Dhoni was planning for the next cycle. He didn't do it abruptly just a year of the T20 World Cup or a year later was the 50 over World Cup. He won the 2011 World Cup with that team. You got to remember that. He didn't make changes before that because he knew that was the best available team to do it. So there is a time to do it. And when you really think that the player is done, especially players the caliber of Rohit and Virat. So at that time, I don't think you can do it at any time. Sankalp Sahu, my favorite football club is, I've said it many times before, it's FC
Barcelona.
Utkarsh Madan saying, will Pavel Brevis debut for South Africa? He very well could. He could. And I love this batting today. I think is it now the 2 biggest sixes in the IPL. The only area of concern for him could be how he does against some good seam and fast bowling. Today, if you saw, he took Rahul Chahar apart, agreed. Then when the fast bowler came,
1 over sort of changed the face of the game at one point.
But the remaining balls that he faced of a seam bowler or a fast bowler, it was almost runner ball. In fact, he got a 4 also of an edge and then got out in that over. So trying to pull the ball. So his true test will come, but signs are great. What you like about him is so young, 18 is it? So mature for being 18
and almost fearless, almost very fearless the way he hits the ball.
Clean hitting.
Also, he started off with I don't know, Weber Aurora bowled 3-4 dots to him in a row.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning. And then that guy is like, oh, wait, I can smash the ball. Let me show you. Brilliant it was. Unfortunately, they still lost.
Kushal Khurana says 3 crore Brevis is greater than 15 crore of Ishan on pure batting skill. No, Kushal, I'll wait on that. I am not going to say that.
Comparing Brevis with Ishan Kishan.
Yeah, and he's saying better. No.
Way too early.
No.
People forget how well Kishan has done for that team.
No, feet movement is great. Shot selection is great. Completely agree with you about Brevis. But again, I'm going to wait on that. Let's not jump the gun. He says, also Tim David 8 crore not playing in the 11.
That is a bit of a surprise.
That we've been pointing out. Big surprise. What else have we got? Devanshu Luthra is saying, I'm not saying pick people from IPL or drop all the senior players, but the fact is that KL, Rahul, Rohit and Virat can't be a 1, 2, 3 in the World Cup. Example, Australia, it was Warner, Finch and Marsh and not Warner, Finch and Smith. Well, Marsh has also got an experienced player.
People tend to forget that.
Yeah. What is he saying? I missed the comment.
He's saying
and Finch is a very old pro, what do you say?
He's the captain on the side, forget that. But what is the person saying?
He's saying that, I'm not saying pick people from IPL or drop all senior players, but the fact is that KL, Rahul, Rohit and Virat can't be a 1, 2, 3 in the World Cup. For example, for Australia, Warner, Finch and Marsh were there and not Warner, Finch and Smith.
I mean, if you have to go by that logic, Finch himself had a poor IPL,
and Smith is a completely different player.
Yeah.
Smith, you are telling me Smith is as good a white ball player as Rohit or Virat? No chance. No chance, my friend. So you're comparing apple to oranges, not apple with apple. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitchell Marsh is having an unbelievable couple of years. in T20 cricket especially, and that's why he got into the side.
Yes.
At one point they had dropped him also.
Yeah, he had been dropped.
Australia themselves dropped Mitchell Marsh in one of the games, then realized their mistake, got him back next game. What he does, he becomes the man of the match, and the rest is history.
Siddhant Sachdeva is pointing out, yes, he was 0 out of 8 balls when I was talking about Brevis against. So
And then Rahul Chahar, we talked about that how he's bowling so well. Devon Brevis hit him for 4 sixes, consecutive sixes. That was insane to watch.
Piyush has a very interesting point. He says Rohit has a strike rate of 141 in T20 internationals. I don't know what else does bang bang mean. Precisely my point.
Rohit in Indian colours, far different a player than somebody Rohit in Mumbai Indians. He's a great captain, but he has never proven his worth in T20, in T20s, in IPL. In T20 internationals, he has shown what he can do. Very, very different player, very good player.
Much like our friend Sid V would have pointed out about MS Dhoni. Keep saying Chennai fan. Great T20 for the Indian team.
No, great T20 for Chennai Super Kings IPL. Not for India. He was not a good finisher for India at all.
He keeps pointing that out.
In T20s.
Don't come after us with the ODI.
Because in ODI, Dhoni best finisher ever.
Sid V. Abhi Adhikari says, talking about leaving Rohit and Virat in World Cup big matches like Pakistan, you need experience. I believe everyone remember what happened in 2020 against Pakistan. Only Virat stood out. Exactly. People will also point out that you lost to Pakistan in the T20 World Cup with Virat and Rohit there. But hey, that's, I rather still go with a Rohit or a Virat than anybody else. Can we open with Rishabh? Naveen Veluswamy is saying. Naveen, I'll tell you what, I had suggested this more than a year ago. When you were not really certain of who the opener is going to be and KL wasn't in great form. I had suggested Rishabh Pant as an opener could be a great gamble for India. But now with Rohit and KL in the form that they are, maybe not. Because Rishabh also has the ability to hit coming down the order. Yes, you will point out that he's not been doing it now, but he's playing a different role now. He's a captain. Also doesn't have the luxury of great batting below. I mean, yes, Lalit Yadav can score runs, Akshar Patel, but then they're also, mostly bowling all-rounders. So also, I don't think he can take too many
Rishabh Pant, an under 19 level,
was an opener.
Yes. Was an opener. Ishan Kishan. Correct?
Lovely that would be.
Lovely that would be, but not happening anytime soon.
Ikpreet Singh is saying not being able to send a long message, but he just wants to say he loves both Mark Waugh and Steve Waugh. Great work.
Thank you.
You know what Mark Waugh and Steve Waugh.
We know now. Yes.
Okay. Love Rami says, now a genuine question to the trio or three musketeers he is calling us. Which World Cup are you more excited for this year? FIFA World Cup or T20 World Cup? Frank and genuine question.
FIFA World Cup.
FIFA.
I'm for the T20 World Cup. I will watch the FIFA World Cup, but because there's no Indian team now, so I'll be more excited watching the Indian team.
I'll reveal later on which team it is I back in international football.
You can reveal now.
England.
Oh, that's fine.
No, it's not.
They're going to crack some jokes at your expense.
So much misery.
No, but a lot of EPL guys who follow the EPL in India do support England.
Mine is a different reason.
Sunil Kaur has an interesting point. Let's get back to the game. He says, Nikhil sir, good night. Turning point was Pollard run out to take another run once we had a strike.
I think that Tilak Verma run out again. Second game in a row he's been run out.
Yes.
I think that also made a huge difference. Pollard, considering what sort of damage he can do.
Yeah, big time.
In the last 5 games, we haven't seen anything.
Yeah, he's been damaging Mumbai's prospects of a win.
We haven't seen anything at all, and that's a problem. And this is not the first time that Pollard has sort of underperformed. If you guys remember one of these seasons, like 2-3 seasons back, he was dropped from the side.
Yeah.
He was dropped from the side because he wasn't performing that well.
Kumar Ushas, I'll quickly answer your question because you answered it before. So in one line, he says, do you think Punjab needs to bring in another all-rounder, maybe Rishi Dhawan, Benny Howell, and drop out Odian because they need more bowling depth and especially some reliable overs from the last few overs? We agree with you. We pointed this out earlier. In fact, Benny Howell is someone that we've been advocating for a long time. Need to watch it. Maybe they'll bring him.
I talked about him in the pre-match show about what he brings to the table. But boss, let's face it, Odian Smith, after taking 4 wickets in this game and hardly batting, is going to play 2 more matches at least.
Yes. Johnny Khurana says Mumbai need to do some basic changes. They need to play Surya at 3, Tilak at 4, Pollard at 5, David at 6. I don't think David is a number 6 batsman. Fabian at 7, yes. These are the best resources they have. Yeah, they can. But I think David will come ahead of Pollard. He's not going to be batting at 6. Ishman Alag is saying, Nikhil sir, I told you that Arsh is one of the best death bowlers in India. Completely agree.
I'm a massive fan of
Massive
Hardeep
fan of the
Singh.
guy now.
By the way, I have a group. I am not sure whether I have ever discussed this before. I have a group who I play fantasy cricket with. Okay, like we do a draft on our own. We pick players, and Arshdeep Singh is in my side because I wanted him.
Well, he does a fantasy video every single day for fantasy tips. Do check that out as well. Also, don't forget to download the Gamezy app and then play fantasy cricket there, because you stand a chance to win up to 5 crore daily in prize money. So that's an added addition. I've already spoken about how you need to go to our Instagram handle, send us a DM on Sports Today Official. We'll have a few of you regular watchers join us in one of the shows. And last but not the least, have you checked out our video on the best overseas player ever to play in the IPL? If you haven't, it's already up. We're getting great feedback on that. So if you haven't seen it, do see
check
that
it
as
out.
well. Anything else, gentlemen?
We're all a part of that best overseas player. So come on, you have to watch it for us.
Absolutely.
Can we call it a night?
Let's
We
call it a
should.
night.
Bye-bye.